Alright guys, so welcome back to another episode. I know it's been a little while. Harrison has art show, Nick got engaged, timestamp, and I did some traveling.
Been working hard.
I've been working hard. Yeah, I did some traveling, so yeah, my life's almost as good. Anyway, so we come with a little bit of grievance this evening. Because
we're gonna air those.
We're gonna air those. Yeah. We've got something to say. Well, let's rewind a little bit. So I guess we've kind of have come to the end of what Square launched in 2006, which was 13 versus 13 Type 0. We finally come to the end of 15 because they canceled everything and the director left. Well, they didn't cancel everything. They still kept the Arden DLC and some anime. I don't know if they're made by the same team as the Brotherhood team because those are pretty good. Hopefully they are. And a bit of other collaborations. But here's where Square fucked up. They had a second anniversary live stream for Final Fantasy 15, and wouldn't you go watch it and get excited? We're going to see those 4 DLCs they spawned for 15, the final stretch of 15. And so they have the stream, and they tell the fans straight to their face, well, we've canceled three quarters of the project, and Tabata has been dismissed. Now, I do have to say that this is kind of this just goes with the whole story of 15's development, which has been elongated. My dogs are a little loud. Elongated.
They're not happy about it.
They're not happy about it, yes. And just been gone through a terrible development cycle. I like the game. I have my issues with it, but I did like the game. I know Harrison liked it, and Nick had mixed feelings. But the hassle and just following Square, just fumble the ball constantly with it, has been kind of painful. And I defended it big time. But the fact that they came out with 15, and they're still releasing stuff 2 years later for it, it just it dismisses the spirit of a Final Fantasy game, where it's you get it in this package, move on when it's over. Complete experience, yeah, from start to finish.
The Royal Edition was the last straw for me.
The Royal Edition.
The Ultimate Complete Edition.
But there's going to be the Royal Edition for PS5.
The Royal List Edition.
The Royal, yeah. But I mean, I know Nick has followed Square for a long time, and there is a bit of a silver lining to the situation, is that at least this era is over.
Move on.
But move on. I feel like Kingdom Hearts 3 will be a good launching pad for hopefully, the next phase of Square. But Kingdom Hearts 3 kind of marks another they took forever. But
it looks amazing.
It does look amazing. And it looks very promising.
Yeah.
So that's something to be optimistic about. But I want to go back and say that I feel like that this is not Tabata's fault as much as it is upper management at the company. And just how they've been navigating the projects, because obviously, there are a lot of really impressive staff members at Square, and sometimes they feel oddly utilized. So,
well, I just want to know what happened between him getting Luminous Productions earlier this year.
Yeah.
Him getting the reins for an entire studio.
Yeah.
With this new engine that they had developed. What happened between that and now to where they're all right, fuck you, Tabata, get out. DLC's canceled.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah.
Something had to have happened there. I bet it's juicy as fuck.
But I feel here's a theory I have about that, is that, all right, so Tabata was making his new PS5 IP, and then he was making this extra Final Fantasy 15 content on the side. But, they promised this earlier. They gave a release schedule for it. It was going to come out February through May. You would get a new episode each month next year. And I think that Tabata went to Square and was we're not going to have this done on time. And for Square to again go out in public and delay 15 content again.
Again, yeah.
Like, and I do say this, like, not to get angry. I'm not, it's I want them to do well.
We're not mad.
I want them to go back to the golden ages. Maybe it's hopeless thinking. I still have optimism about the company because they do have a lot of really, really good game developers in the company.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
It's been an interesting saga, but you're right. Like,
Yeah.
you know, going on since 2006. But it's over now. We can put this whole thing behind us, and they can move on as a studio and start, you know, pouring their energies into other IPs. You know, finishing the 7 remake,
and just have a whole reset from like this era. Like, don't announce your game so early.
Yeah.
Yeah, but but I feel like hopefully they're learning from that. But you know, but for them to cancel it to fans' faces. Kind of weird. Kind of weird.
Just because I know that you were excited about it, and I think I was over here that night, and you were like, "Yeah, they're gonna have an announcement," and you ended up just telling me that Tabata was gone.
Yeah. And
I was
it was just like weird. We were playing Smash Brothers.
I was like, "This is weird."
We were actually playing Smash in the other room, and I was like, "This is big news." And Nick was like, "Is Nobu dead?" And I was just like, no. Was it you or Charles?
I said that.
Okay, yeah.
But I didn't say it hopefully the way you made it sound.
Yeah. No. The tone was excitement. I was cheering. No, of course not. Please, be well, Nobu. Like, please. Because especially if you're working on the 7 remake, I have to have this. I have to have you making the music for it. Because without it, I think it puts the game
if you're
in danger.
watching this.
Yeah. You pull through, please. I've got Tums. All right. Okay, so, but please, I guess we give him our best. But what do you make of this? I feel like that you like 15. We got really excited for it. I feel like the hype for 15 was awesome, and
I think we had a good conversation where we talked about how, like, Thomas and I specifically, we really liked the game when we played it, and it was just like, it was a lot of fun, and when I ended it, I was like, okay, cool. I mean, I had some issues with it, but it wasn't anything, like, I thought by far it was a better game than a lot of things that come out. Mm-hmm. And I enjoyed it, and I thought that some of the complaints that people had, specifically with like when Noctis goes off
the corridor chapter,
corridor area, when people complained about that, I was like, you all need to chill.
I kind of like that part.
I liked it.
How they mixed it up. It was like survival horror for a minute.
But it was just like, as things kept progressing and it kept, we didn't really finish the story, and here's some of the things that we're going to add to it to help complete it, and now we're having another like DLC, and it's like, okay, now you're just kind of like showing us that you had a problem.
Yeah, and it's kind of like admitting that it's flawed. I know that they're trying to please the fans, and they got a lot of criticism for this with 13, and I feel that like the executives at Square are just so like about appeasing every whiny fan, you know, who has a problem. Yeah. When they just need to like let their developers make what they want and just let it be. Move on to the next project.
I mean, this has been kind of a hallmark of PC gaming for a long time, is that you have the ability to patch something after it's been released, and you know, usually you use that to fix bugs or to, you know, make minor tweaks that don't have huge like narrative or you know, gameplay impacts. But this is something entirely different, I think. Like, you know, I started to lose faith because, like, I had heard people, I didn't play as quickly as everyone else did, and I'd heard some people complaining about the corridor chapter 13 or whatever it is, where Noctis is separated from the rest of the party, and, you know, it's kind of stripped down, and it becomes a bit of a stealth game, a bit of a survival horror game.
Yeah. It's maybe a little long. That's why I don't like Chris.
And I heard people complaining about it, and immediately it was like, oh, we're pushing a patch out. Like, right after I got past it, like, Square's like, we're pushing a patch out. And that was the first moment of like, well, that's kind of weird. Like, is it bad because
it's like they don't
guys didn't have enough time to finish it, or are you just like cowing to?
It doesn't back their. It's like they don't back their product. But it's weird. But also, but on the other hand, they're like, it is optional. You can still choose to do the original Noctis path, or do the Gladiolus Ignis path, where you're gonna play as them and see what they do while Noctis is going through his stuff. But I mean, without getting too much in the weeds of like the specifics of 15, it's I mean, at least we're getting the Arden chapter, and I'm sure it'll be a good closure. And honestly, I don't know if y'all watched the trailer. It had a lot of stuff from Versus, a lot of the scenes that were eliminated from Versus in it. So, so that's
but
kind of
and to your point about you thought that maybe Tabata was just we're not going to be able to get the DLC out on time. That could be another example of why they maybe shouldn't announce things so early.
Yeah, and they gave a release schedule too for it. I would say 6 months ago at this rate, Square don't give release dates out until 5 months out. Seriously,
risk having to cancel something.
Yeah, especially at this point.
Because it would have been pretty cool if the announcement was we're releasing episode Arden. And that would have been whoa, cool.
And it's the last thing. And it's the last chapter.
Yeah, if it was out now, that would be crazy. That would have been really
and
awesome.
free.
Yeah. There's not enough of that.
And free.
Yeah, there's definitely not enough of that these days. That was one, not to deviate too much, but that was one of, I didn't like Fallout 4 as a game, but I loved the way they publicized and released it. They announced it, I think, at E3, and 2 months later
it was out. Yeah, that stuff's really
Do more of that, Square.
Yeah,
do more of that.
For sure. But I hope that they learn their lessons by this. I mean, a lot of people are really negative and emotional on the internet right now.
That's
saying
no,
that's a permanent statement. Yeah. But some people who are big fans who I follow on YouTube say oh, this is what Square is now. This is what they are. Squaresoft is long gone. If you're holding out hope that Square will return to a consistent glory, your faith is gone, and 7 Remake's gonna be bad. This is a conclusion for that, and I feel a little hyperbole.
I wonder how much the Eidos acquisition changed the culture over there.
I mean, I feel that they treat that as their own subsidiary all overseas. I feel they've got their Tokyo office, they've got an office in Osaka. And then they have Eidos in the West. Mm-hmm. So, I think that... But Eidos has proved to be profitable. But apparently they're in a little bit of trouble now because the new Tomb Raider game didn't sell too well. And I wonder if Square doesn't have anything in the immediate future and they're trying to, cut costs right now. I'm sure Kingdom Hearts 3 will sell very well.
Yeah.
But I wonder. I feel after that, what is there? I mean, 7 Remake is way off in the distance. I think all our hopes. And
so what's in the pipeline? What's on the horizon?
Yeah.
It's not really anything.
And maybe after Kingdom Hearts 3, Square will clarify the future, because after 3 comes out, because that's the beginning of the new era. Because all the games that were promised going all the way back to 2006 are out. So
they do have the Octopath team, which I think is kind of working on a completely different subset of games.
With a much bigger budget, too.
Which is interesting, so they're kind of, going off on their own separate path that I don't think is, AAA lower budget games, like Octopath, which I'm still playing. I still haven't gotten through that. But yeah, for the AAA, mainline Team A studio, I don't know what they're working on. There's that announcement today about the last idea or whatever.
I forgot to mention that. That's a little strange, but it seems so Sakaguchi to me, Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
And the last idea, who would it be besides Sakaguchi? You know, it's what
is he confirmed to be associated with it, or is that
it's not? It's all speculation.
Okay.
This is all speculative because Sakaguchi has warmed up to Square a lot lately in the past 2 years, and his company Mistwalker is not doing well right now. In fact, their latest game has not been successful at all. So my hope is that Square acquires Mistwalker or hires the Mistwalker staff and gives them their own internal studio, and that's their game. That would be cool, but that's a little hopeful.
Was Lost Odyssey Mistwalker?
That was Lost Odyssey, Blue Dragon, Last Story,
Yeah. Game, none of those I've actually finished.
Yeah,
all of them I kind of enjoyed a little bit.
Yes. I like Lost Odyssey.
Yeah.
But I feel that that's hopeful. But yeah,
highly regarded.
What is the future going to be? After Kingdom Hearts 3 and this episode Arden comes out, which is confirmed for March.
For now.
But hopefully we get a forecast.
Yeah, they have to talk about things.
Because here's one thing that, and we'll talk about this in the next video, is if they announce the PS5 next year, I guarantee you Sony would want to put the 7 remake trailer right next to that console.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know, like, yeah.
It definitely.
Right. And
if there's any way they can feasibly do that, I mean, like...
Yeah. They did restart development like 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
They did, but I also know that, like, Tabata, now that he's done with... Or not Tabata.
Nomura?
Yeah,
Nomura, yeah.
I know he was saying,
Yeah.
like... He, like, now that he's done with Kingdom Hearts, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna start working on this. And it's like, start.
Oh, no.
Right.
No,
I was thinking when he says, like, they restarted development, it's like... They restarted.
Yeah, I know,
from the beginning.
exactly. It's just like...
Well, we don't know that either. We don't know if they took assets from...
May not have been a page 1 rewrite.
And honestly, like, I feel that maybe that Square dumped a shit ton of money because they knew 7 Remake would make a lot of money into a third-party company and be like, let's just experiment. That's what they could have done for 2 years.
That's true.
And then they're like, all right, we got an idea for what we're going to do. Bring it in-house. Let's have the in-house people work on it. Just a theory. But,
So, you know, to play devil's advocate here, we've been kind of bitching about Square, hold it back, don't tell us what you're making, you know.
and the other hand, we're like, please tell us. Yeah.
Maybe that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
Or maybe not.
I just
don't
think,
know.
I think Pandora's box opens after Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out. I think that's where we enter into this new phase of, like, Square's publicity. Which I do think, if they announce PS5, which I'm, like, almost convinced that 7 Remake will be on PS5.
As a launch title?
I mean, maybe not. Please, but I doubt it.
I know.
Yeah. But I mean, like, but we'll get into this in our next video. But I like that. So that's the. So like, I mean, like, any other final thoughts of Square? Like, what's your temperature with them now?
Like, I'm so...
Like, I know you've been really excited for them in the past.
I have.
You're a fan. You played a lot of their games.
I am.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm, like, indifferent with everything that's going on at the moment. I still have faith in them. I still think that they can make good video games. I don't think they're going to fail, because I also, like, Octopath was, like... I didn't finish it, but it was amazing. Mm-hmm. And I think that they still have, like, the capability of making great games. And I think that they can. It's just, they need to change the way that they're doing some shit. Because it's like, it's pissing some people off. And some people won't have the patience that others have. Or the understanding of it.
I would definitely agree.
I mean, it's just, I think that they, like, I'm not... Like, I think that they fucked up, but I'm not to the point where I'm like, I'm never playing Square games. I'm not just like, they fuck up, and like, you can fuck up multiple times, and I'm still gonna give you a shot.
I guess the bottom line is, will you still buy the Final Fantasy VII Remake?
Yeah.
I'll think about it.
Yeah, shut the course. Yeah, okay, so, like, it's like, that's also just the abyss of people whining about your favorite things not making what you like. Star Wars, Final Fantasy, Zelda. We go through it all. If you're on the wrong side of the game they released, and you like have to wait almost a decade now for a new one,
you can't please everybody.
You're going to get a little impatient.
You can't please everybody. I think with 15, Square's like, but maybe we can.
We can.
If we keep tinkering with it enough.
Like, you all know I'm a super fanboy about Square and Final Fantasy. But, like, I think Harrison nailed it on the head. Like, when I played it, I loved it. And then they tinkered with it. And it kind of, like, makes me be like, all right, well, I got to go back and play it because it's, like, a different game now.
Because
So, which I do intend on doing. So
I like Nick's point, too, about just saying... With, like, especially, like, early games, like, when, like, SNES, like, when a game came out, that was the game.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And, like, there was no patching, and then, when, like, PC gaming came out, they're like, oh, God, that part's a little fucked up.
Rough.
And then we'll patch it. And then they could fix that. But then to patch things in such a dramatic way where it's like, oh, shit, we left out part of the story, and we need to include this.
we didn't give Luna Freya like any backstory.
And it's also,
they canceled
it's not,
her. They canceled her DLC.
Yeah.
which I feel like is kind of the biggest crime of the whole thing. Is that Luna will never be characterized the way she was deserved.
So wait, they canceled Luna's. Aranea.
There's
Aranea and Noctis.
There's another Noctis.
And Noctis, which was going to be the last one and kind of the cap on the story. But apparently that was going to change the ending, which kind of is a silver lining for me.
Didn't you already get like an alternate ending with episode Ignis too?
You did, and I was like, you got that with Ignis, and I really liked Ignis. But like, just
stop.
Just stop. Just stop. I'll play it again, okay? I remember playing 13 again, maybe once or twice by now. At this point, but I have not been wanting to go back to play 15 because I'm still waiting for all the stuff to come out. So, but I will, and we'll do our final review after that.
Our Royal
Edition review. Yeah. And you'll hear this whole saga all over again. Anyway, I think we got it. Square, we love you, but you fucked up. You're gonna get better. Don't listen to the haters out there, but you do need to realize your marketing needs work.
Yeah.
Your publicity, you gotta work on it. Don't just ignore the noise. You know what to do. Fix it. Have you not watched the last decade? You know it's consistent. So, all right. Anyway,
and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Don't like and comment.
Ring that bell.
Yeah. Smash that subscribe button.
Bring on Kingdom Hearts 3. I think it'll make us more happy about Square. All right. See you guys.
See ya.
All right. So let's move on.